India focused, because that's what I've had a chance to see. I think fundamentally entrepreneurship is about resilience, and I think our Indian entrepreneurs, I think, never fail to surprise me. I think we live in a country where we see so much chaos. I mean, COVID is big and it's inexplicable between the political chaos, the geographic chaos, and so much that happens in the country that we live in, between our tax laws, everything constantly changing. I think we live in chaos, and I think our entrepreneurs are very resilient to chaos. In fact, I would argue that they thrive in chaos. I think one of the things that entrepreneurs from emerging markets in general have as an edge over developed markets is we live in very difficult day-to-day circumstances, and I think that makes us very resilient. So even in India, you hear great stories of entrepreneurs going out to do social good, to re-engineer their businesses to meet the needs of consumers during COVID, to wire their businesses to be completely digital. So the pace of change and the resilience has actually made me very, very happy. I think it's been a very volatile climate for investors. If you look at the month of March, globally, equities had this meltdown, and I think everybody thought the world was coming to an end. And then, come April, it's completely changed around. And I think that's the nature of investing and equity investing, is that it just takes you by surprise. I again think the Indian investor has been mature, especially the small Indian investor. In India, we have a concept of something called a systematic investment plan, which is people taking their salary money and putting it every month into mutual funds, which is the industry I am in. And that number has actually not come down substantially. So your average retail Indian is continuing to put money or keep his money invested in mutual funds. In fact, some of them are coming to add more money. And I've seen previous crises in India. I think people have grown up a lot. And I always say that investors learn with each crisis. Tell young people, and I also have to say that COVID has been an extraordinarily tough year for young people. I think if you're someone graduating from college today or graduating from high school, I think, my mother runs a school. I think there are a lot of scars that can come out of COVID. So the first thing I would tell young people is, do not let this scar you, because you will go through something like COVID in your lifetime. I mean, my parents talk about the fact that they saw India and Pakistan go to war, they saw floods. And I always said my generation hadn't seen anything, and perhaps COVID is the first thing that we've really seen. So my first message to you is that don't be bitter. You can take this as a great learning experience. You can take this as a great opportunity, because the fact is, this is not the last thing you're going to go through. You're going to go through it again and again and again. I think secondly, use the time just like we're using the time to reset as working professionals, to up your skills. You can sit at home and you can watch Netflix all day and just talk about how horrible the world is. But you can really use the time to slow down and up your skill sets, up your knowledge of the world, up your creative writing, whatever it is. You can just be a better person. And then the final thing I would tell young people is, I think we are probably, and I consider myself a little bit on the younger side, I think we are the biggest beneficiaries of something like COVID, because with COVID, the world has finally accepted that it needs to change. And I see this in my own business. 2-3 years ago, if I wanted to do something different or unconventional, it was kind of difficult to do. But now with COVID, all bets are off, and everybody is suddenly open to re-looking, re-evaluating. Everybody wants young ideas, everybody wants fresh ideas, everybody wants a new perspective. So actually it is your time in the sun, and do recognize that. So it's a time to go out there and have a voice, and if you have an idea, talk about it, and maybe it'll get wings, because everybody's open. Two approaches to leadership, and one I call is the old school corner office model, where you behave like a CEO and you don't talk about your weaknesses and you're very formal with your team and all that. I don't subscribe to that model. I subscribe to the CEO who's in the hallways talking to people. And it's okay if once in a month you shed a tear at work. It's fine. You're a human being. And I also believe that, look, I lead almost 200 people. I can't be upset in front of 200 people. I realize that I have to carry the morale of the troops. But you can have three, four core people in your team with whom you are honest, because I believe, like, I've just gone through a, I mean, COVID has not been an easy period, a difficult kind of compensation cycle. But I've shared the problem with my team and we've managed to get through it beautifully. Because I think when you share problems, it's easier for people to help you. You'll be surprised if you tell someone, I need help, five people will come and say, okay, I'm ready to give you help. But if you're pretending and you're trying to hide, then it just doesn't work for me. I think the way forward is, I've always realized the solution is for more women to join industry, because the more, and I've seen this with my own company, the minute you have more women in senior leadership, you will automatically draw up more women. Because I don't believe the myth that women don't like women. I think women go out of the way to support women. And that is what I have seen in India and my experience. When I talk to women who are far senior to me in financial services or in corporate India, they are so happy to have conversations. In fact, I mean, before this interview, I was telling you about a friend in a different industry, and we have so few conversations with our peers because they are not women, that we're seeking out each other and finding ways to help each other in this business. So I think women supporting women is the solution to it. I think when a woman comes to the forefront of an organization, she can change policies. So for instance, can I be more fair to women during their maternity leave period than a guy could? Yes. So typically what happens in our offices also is, when a woman gets pregnant, the thing starts that, oh, she's not going to come back. Why should we pay her the same? And I mean, I just stopped it. I said, listen, I've had girls go on maternity leave, work really hard through their maternity leave. And within 5 days of delivering the baby, these girls are answering the phone from home because they are so committed to their profession. And why can't we treat them well? I mean, maternity leave is a 6-month or 3-month process in a woman's or employee's life. Just let them get through it peacefully. So I think things like that, we change the culture of the floor that we work on. I think we come from an industry where you've had a very aggressive kind of, and sometimes not the most respectful culture, I would say. I think having more women on the floor balances the culture of that floor. It encourages not just gender diversity, but other kinds of diversity as well, which is a good thing.